Hey, you guys, it's Ali. Welcome back to my channel. I am your eccentric slow madding around this globe, seeing where a boat, a plane, a train, a bus, automobile may take me, and sharing my journey with you guys in case you are interested in also starting or continuing or expanding your own personal journey as a traveler slash nomad, slow mad, expat. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for always following me and checking in and chiming in and all of that. Trying to get back into the swing of things of putting content together for you guys. Just as I am walking through this life, there's so many things, y'all. I got just notes and notes and notes of stuff, and it's time that I actually share it with you and get it into a format that you guys can actually see and experience this and kind of understand where I'm coming from in this life that I'm living, and want to be able to share with you guys. Many of you all ask me, the hows and all those things, and I'm trying to put those things out there. I will have a video coming out about where to stay in the EU, and this is just through my trials in the last 3 months, where it is a nice temperature, y'all. It's about 70 degrees out here today, and I'm gonna get out in the sun. I just want to get a little work done, but where you could go, where cost is, overall you could spend easily less than $1,000, and accommodations from 500 to 700, depending on your preference and what type of room you want. I will be sharing that information with you and posting videos of like just snippets of where I've been, okay, and then some of last year. So it's coming, y'all. It's coming. I appreciate you guys' patience with me. But if you're new to my channel and you have not subscribe yet, please click that subscribe button, that notification bell. Leave me a comment, let me know where you're following from, and if you are new to this travel journey and are wanting to learn more, like where you are in the stage of your travel journey. But today I'm just going to do a quicker video, y'all. This is kind of like, like there's always nuts and bolts to this life, nuts and bolts to the travel thing. It's not just packing a bag and getting out there. While it is, and it does seem like that, there's real life things that we all deal with. There's things that we question and think about repeat. And I'm kind of making this Curler's Chronicles, y'all. I'm just this is like the real life thing. That's like how this happened. I'm gonna my Curler's Chronicles tips and tidbits that I was giving before, and just haven't recorded one where I actually have curlers in my hair. So we're gonna make this a Curler's Chronicles, because I kind of like free curled some curlies in the front. I got a 2-for-1, y'all. Okay, so anyway, today's video was really gonna be about pacing your life based on what you want and what you desire versus what other people want and what other people are telling you you desire, right? And understanding that it's okay. And I talk about this in different ways, different formats and stuff, but I feel like it's always necessary to kind of bring it back around, just to kind of level set a little bit. Like, we could share all this wonderful information and ways to move around the world and how you do all this and that and the other, but if we don't touch on the realisms, the things that happen in life, our social engagement, we don't talk about how environmental changes impact us, if we don't talk about whether or not leaving places that we know for places that are unknown, how those things impact us, eventually, like, the whole starts to sink, right? And we start to feel sometimes overwhelmed, if we're in need of areas that will kind of give us some guidance and how to kind of create that balance and also live more fulfilled, right? Because you could do one thing and then be unfulfilled at another. It's like I'm going to give this example a little bit later, but it's like you could have it all but still have nothing. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. This is not going to be a really long video, but I felt like compelled to at least kind of chat about this part of it, because so many people think that there's so much glam and all of that, and it's fun. It is amazing. Last night I actually went to dinner with some of my housemates, hotel mates, because it's a hotel actually, and it happens to be a co-living and co-working space, and I'm going to be sharing that with you guys as well. First time I've actually stayed in one, especially for this duration, at least for a whole month, in this type of setting. So I want to be able to actually like walk through and show you what's different about where I am right now as opposed to what I've been doing and where I have been living. But anyway, they put together a community dinner that they do regularly, and I joined, I think it was 4 other people, so there were 5 of us. And first out the gate, love the diversity. There was one girl from Germany, one girl from the UK, families from Sierra Leone, one girl is from Barcelona, one of the other guys, he's from Switzerland, and myself, having American background and being a nomad like them as well, right? And so it was really diverse, and from that perspective, and just, you know, chatting and eating and all of that kind of stuff. But these are some of the things that are the cool parts about this journey I'm on. But then, you know, you get into your room, you get by yourself, you're in your head, you're walking, and you're doing your own thing, and life starts to set in, and you're kind of just like, okay, how do I navigate this? How do I maintain a healthy mental balance while still working to achieve my goals, or figure out what my goals are? For me, it's always, where am I going next? Where to next? What am I going to do next? How am I going to do that? You know, what business, what opportunity, what am I expanding, what am I, the what never really goes away unless you're like, you know, independently wealthy. And if you are and you want to give me some, please let me know. I do have ways for you to send me money. But in the meantime, I've got to figure this out. But I've also got to deal with like the mental part of being out here in this space. It's not that easy. And I know this because many of you ask me how. Many of you want to know how to get started. Many people are, you know, you're great with a short-term vacation, but it's kind of like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I do with 14 days? What do I do with 21? How do you manage 21 days away from? And so I just want to get into what our life design looks like, who decides what our life design actually is, and how we can take control of that narrative, what that looks like, how we walk in this space, and also understanding that as we walk along this space, you might start to learn and discover more things about yourself, because you are literally walking in the space of, who am I? What am I doing? What do I want? And you're discovering as you go along, and then you start to realize, oh, when I sign this on the dotted line, or I write this out, that's not the beginning, that's not the end, that's just the beginning, that's a phase, that's a step. It's okay to then say, oh, well, that was great, now I want to move into this arena. You know, growth in all things is acceptable. It's not just, oh, career path growth, or, you know, family growth, or whatever, all these things that we've been kind of, you know, implanted in our heads to make us believe that this is success, this is happiness. And so that's what I really want to talk about, is what we were told is happiness, and the pace of life that we should be striving to achieve, right? Based on history, based on, you know, what your beliefs and systems beliefs, and, you know, whether or not we believe that, you know, it's necessary for us to continue on populating this world, right? A lot of these things feed into that, and understanding where you stand, and understanding that it's okay for you to have these responsibilities that you create, or that, you know, are a part of your life because of things that you want, does not eliminate also having and being in a state of joy and happiness. Okay, better way to put that, but you know what I'm saying. And so I'm gonna take a couple notes that I had. Just some of the things that we were told, that, you know, kind of structure the life that we live. You know, the direction that we go, the pace that we go. If we go off the beaten path, whether or not we think we've made a huge mistake and we've got to fix this. And I've done it. I, you know, had a child early in my college life, and you would think that, I was on death row or something sometimes in some people's minds. And that plays a big part and has a very heavy impact on, how you walk around and how you do things. And I know for a fact how it impacted me in terms of how I was thinking and what my goals were and how determined I was to prove the world wrong, prove everybody wrong, that I could still make it even though this particular thing occurred in my life, right? So what are we told? Work hard. Nothing wrong with working hard, y'all. We should work hard, okay? But we're gonna break that down. There's this balance thing. It's not just a cliche to say work-life balance. It's not. It's real life. And in order for it to be real life, we individually have to create a space for work and life balance. Not wait for someone to write a program in the company that we work in or whatever that gives us the space for work-life balance. No, we have to create it, right? And slowly but slowly, the hamster, little by little on this wheel, and we'll get to churning. A lot of times we can't just, cold turkey cut everything off. But we want to get to a point where we're controlling it enough that if we want to cut it off and start all over, we can do that because we're controlling our destiny. So working hard. Wait for retirement. Oh my God, you could do all those things when you retire. And retirement right now is 65, 67, something like that. And they're creating systems now that are kind of putting the everyday person in the place of being the ones that are eliminating the sources and the systems that we've paid into, Social Security and things like that, eliminating those and that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't gonna get into it. But waiting for retirement is not a guarantee, y'all, to happiness. It's not a guarantee you're gonna make it. It's not a guarantee you're gonna have anything in retirement. Starting a family, that's not for everybody. How many people get penalized, especially women? Men do too. Well, you ain't got no kids. You ain't gonna have no kids. What about you? Oh my God, you're such a good person. You definitely should be one bringing kids into this world. Or women, the underlining thought process, whether people say it all out or not, is that's our purpose. We were created to bring life to the population. Carry something for it carry something for 9 months and then birth it for however many hours it takes to birth, and then have the nutrients in our body to actually feed it for years, quite frankly, right? That's what people think that we are here for. But what if that's not your calling? Okay? We're also taught, and I will say this, y'all, and this is tough, to put ourselves in debt. It's the coolest thing to be in debt. If you're not in debt, something's wrong with you, right? And what I mean by that is things, houses. We have to have houses and stuff, but are you making it work for you? Cars, are you making it work for you? We get loans. The newest trend in the last 10 years is don't spend your money, spend someone else's. Well, that is like really smart. We also have to understand what that means and how to go about doing that, so that then things aren't in your name that then allow people to come back and take everything else that's on this side from you. Okay, that's a whole other thing. I'm not well versed in all of that, but I understand it enough to understand that take a little bit of a step to understand that there's some pitfalls with that concept of just take out loans. You can get a loan for that. Yeah, but you do have to pay it back, i.e. loan. Anyway, clothing, stuff, all the stuff. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the stuff. Let me preface this. Let me go ahead and say that now, because I know somebody could be like, well, I want these things. What's wrong with having? Nothing is wrong with having them, okay? Nothing is wrong with having things. Nothing is wrong with houses. I had 2 houses. There's nothing wrong with cars. There's nothing wrong with all these things. Where I'm at right now, what I'm really talking about is this idea that those are the things that are going to make us happy. Those are the things that are going to bring us joy. Those are the things that you're going to pass on. void of anything intellectual, void of anything that provides guidance in how to actually maneuver and navigate mentally and physically in this space, right? What are we passing on from that perspective? What legacy do we share from that perspective? Yeah, I can give things that then become debt or burdensome to someone else. I can give things, right? Even money can become a burden. How often do we see wealthy people who still don't appear to be happy because they have it all? They appear to have it all, but they still don't have the one thing that I think most of us really deep down inside want, and that's connection. We want connection with other people. Not everybody. I know some people like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'll be glad when but sometimes we think we don't want that because we're in environments that it's a negative experience for us right now. It doesn't mean that that's not what we want. Sorry, my door's open. It's warm outside, so somebody loves a motorcycle. All right, so anyway, nothing wrong with all those things. I think the key is first sitting back and saying, am I happy? Are these things that I want? Or am I doing this because somebody told me this is what I'm supposed to do? All right? And maybe you want to have kids, but you don't want 4 kids. You only want 1. Hopefully you can make that decision and only have 1, right? But so often we see people in situations where they're just like, man, I did it because of this person. I wanted to make somebody happy. I wanted to follow. I could not go into the military, although I'm really starting to push. Maybe we should in certain areas of the military. Body ain't on the front line, but the benefits of some anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. And I would love to have a military expert. I have some friends who have retired from military and get some amazing benefits. If you're going to spend 26 years in the force or in the workforce, why not get something that immediately pays you out? You ain't got to wait till you're 65, 67, 70 years old. Conversation for another day. But understanding what it is that actually makes you happy, void of, okay, my parents were, my mother was an attorney, and they were really pushing me to go to law school. All I keep thinking of is Cosby's, right? Like, that was such an amazing show during a certain point of time. Number one, it depicted a beautiful and amazing, thriving Black family. As well, during a time when, we're trying to get over hurdles of what people think about us collectively, which we shouldn't even have to think about. But that show was a staple in that, as well as a staple in, we went to school, put all this money away for you to do this, and the other. And you see that portrayed throughout the show with each child. Well, what are you going to do? And how each child was not following in the footsteps that were specifically set for them. And then over time realizing, well, okay, that's okay. Well, what is it that you want to do? Can you still be successful? Figuring out what it is that makes you happy, like longer term. What are the things? And I'm not talking about, well, right now I want a lollipop and a banana. That's going to make me happy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, God, what do I like to do? What drives me? What is it when I see it or I'm doing it? I'm like, man, I'm in heaven. And people are like, wow, that's your thing. That's really your thing. Nobody ever told me, ooh, IT is your thing. But guess what? IT carried me. So I understand the need for the things that we need to do. One of my favorite quotes, hold on, let me give it to you guys. Do what we have to do so that we can do what we want to do. And that was from one of the infamous movies. Let me know if you can guess the movie in the comments. I'm not even going to tell you. My movie buff says, do what we have to do so that we can do what we want to do, right? I think it's like that. But the things that you do that just make you just very joyful, without, like, things that you could do and be so happy, and you don't even need a paycheck. That's what I'm talking about, right? But you want a paycheck, because that's the other farce is you don't need to make money. Well, we do need to make money, or we do need to know how to get the necessities that we need. And so some of that is collaboration, it's communication, it is connections. We need each other, we need people, right? We need space, like just like needing you guys to sharing comments. Tell me what you want to hear about. What are the things that you enjoy about my journey, or things that you're looking to do? Those things inspire me, right? Don't cost me any money. Don't cost you any money to leave a comment and stuff. But guess what? Both of us benefit somehow, right? Mine become affiliations or payments through, the channel itself, and yours become, wow, I actually get to step into this and maybe do something similar. You'll touch another generation of people, another realm of people who, are inspired to follow you in your journey, right? All this stuff, But that's the first step, is figuring out, wait a minute, what is it that I like? What actually makes me happy? And I think in the process of going through the systems and in institutions and things like that, very rarely are we asked what we really want. We're asked what we want in the scope of this, and this, right? Even when you go into your counselor, and not like broad banding blank sheet of paper saying, okay, tell me what you want to do and let's make that happen. They're saying, okay, based on these selection criteria, what's your most favorite thing? Do you like math or reading? Do you like social studies? You want to be a teacher? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying, think outside of those constraints that we have, right? And oftentimes I find when I talk to people, when I have consultations, it's like, wow, I never really thought about it like that. I really don't, I got to do this. Well, I can't think about that. I got to do this. Let's slowly but surely start to be okay with what true work and life balance actually is. It means taking some time aside so that you can think about what it is that you want to do, what really makes you happy. This is not easy, this life, like it's great, but every day I'm just like, okay, so, I still have to make ends meet. I still have to have some funds, and, and I do things and I spend, and I'm like, okay, now I got to make up for this and then the other, and I got to figure these things out longer term, which means that I'm always still working on something. But right now, the main difference in my life in 2024 as opposed to 2020, I'm almost 4 years from leaving corporate America, is that I am now dictating how I do it, my schedule. And what I'm hoping to do with my videos and the things that I'm sharing with you guys is that you start this process while you are getting a paycheck. Okay? Oh, girl. You do it. You don't know what I'm doing. Hey, Gertie. Okay. So, in all the things that you're trying to figure out, and all the different things that you want in life, you may want to do some of the things. You may want the house. You may want the car. You may want the family, all these things. Or you may want any of it. And that's okay. Realizing and understanding that it's okay to not want to do any of that. If you guys watch Bridgerton, and Eloise, she is okay, so we're the Bridgertons, but I don't want to do none of that. I want to read books. I want to write. I want to find yourself in the things that you watch and the things that you expose yourself to. Find yourself in that. Find that thing that's just like, oh my God, I so relate, right? Because those things becomes your inspiration. Hopefully I'm your inspiration as well for a little piece of it. But find those things so that you can really take a few minutes of the day and go, okay, if I had 3 hours, what would I do? Okay. That's one of the toughest things, is realizing what we want in life may be different than what we've been taught we should be doing, right? And sometimes, we feel guilty because maybe we don't want to walk a certain path. And then other times we're made to feel guilty because we don't want to walk a certain path. You know what? Those are fights that you got to work through. You got to figure out how to balance those things. What's important to you? Is it important to follow along a path? Is it important to you for other people to be really involved in your decision making? Is it important? You got to figure that out. And that's part of this process, because you can walk around all day talking about what you want to do and then never actually do it, right? So that's the legacy you would leave, is the wanna, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but never, right? One of the things that I want to say, that I say often, so I'll repeat it in this video, is we don't control anything outside of ourselves. And very few people control other people. Okay, I'm talking about the elite 5% that control, our food, our water, and the perception of what a wealthy life is, right? That's what they actually control. They do have some control over food, and they have control over, those are the things that they use against us, right? That's a conversation for another day. Something I probably do want to invite only kind of conversation, but there's things outside of that, and those things work. Those levels of feeling that we're being controlled work because and this is the kicker here. This is to bring it all together so that we can hopefully have a larger conversation. It's because we don't believe we have any power. Deep down, many of us don't believe we have any power when we say, I can't do that. There's no way I can do that. You can do that, but I can't do that. Why can't you? Let's dig into why you can't. Because maybe you can't at this moment. But let's talk about it in pieces. How do we get there so you can, right? Besides that elite, we control ourselves. We don't even control our kids. We are guides for our children. Hopefully gooder guides for our kids. But in essence, our kids prove to us on a daily basis that we do not control them. Now, you can spank them. You can gentle parent them. You can parent them. I want some controversy. Come for me on the parenting, gentle parenting. Let's have a whole conversation on that. But we can do all of those things, but in essence, you still don't have no control over them. You guide them, and hopefully you impart enough wisdom and knowledge and experiences and stories and life that they look and they can make some, rounded decisions based on intellectual thought rather than just impulse alone. Impulse alone ain't totally bad, but you do want to have a little bit of logic working along with those impulses, okay? And so I'm gonna kind of shut this down with the quote I said earlier. We do have to do today. We have to do today what we have to do. Do today what we have to do so that we can do what we want to do. And so this just is kind of like that cry out that don't allow other people to dictate the pace of your life, the flow of your life, the path of your life. And I know that's easier said than done, but it doesn't have to be just easier said than done. I am living proof that it doesn't have to be. And I'm also here to prove to you that you don't have to wait till you're 48 to do it. You just don't. You really don't. There's enough ways out here that we can start to kind of build together, put the communities, and start doing it with each other so that we're not all struggling. So you guys, if this is something that you want to talk more about, you want to have more of these kind of videos and maybe some interaction and maybe some live conversations and explicit grouping conversations where we get on one-on-ones and you're invited to calls specifically and they're not public and we can really start talking about these things, please let me know in the comments, because this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm looking to kind of expand where I am, because it's great to talk, it's great to share, it's great for you guys to see me out and about doing these things. What good does it profit a man to lose? Anyway, I'm sorry, it just came up. I had a whole moment. But what good does it do for me to share all those things if I'm only sharing it through a screen and never actually get to meet you guys? I meet a lot of other people along this path. I meet so many people, but it would be really amazing one day to meet people who end up doing this and following their own path, their own dream, because they were watching videos. So as I always say, hopefully I'll see you guys out here in these streets, on a plane, in an airplane, airport, on a bus stop, on a ferry. That's my new jig now, as the fairies. But hopefully we can meet one day and collaborate on some things if we are connected and aligned in the same or similar walk that benefits each and every one of us that come together. So anyway, y'all, hopefully that is helpful. Again, if this type of stuff is things that just like make your ears ring, please click that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you know when I go live and post another video, and leave me a comment. Let me know where you're listening from, and if this was inspirational for you. I will be, like I said, sharing some other videos coming up here soon about where I am staying, a place that I suggest that you could go in the EU, and some other things that I'm going to share with you as well, you guys. So I'm going to get out here and enjoy this beautiful day and get my 11,000 steps in for the day. Hopefully you guys are walking with me on that journey as well to get back into good health. All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. You guys know the drill. Doodles and doodles, peace and hair grease.